So tell me about your career and things like that throughout your life.
Well, when I was a little girl, my brother was an actor, child actor. He was Oliver, actually, in Oliver Twist in the film, years and years ago. And I used to go to the studios, and I used to be in a couple of films that Stuart Granger, it was, took me to another part of Pinewood, and I was in some of the films that they were making there. And I've always been a dancer, right up until the age of 16. And I went to elocution lessons all that time. Got loads of certificates. Is that something
that most women done? Is that
No.
Was that
dancing? Yes, but elocution lessons, no. But my mother wanted me to speak properly, so from a young age I went to elocution lessons every week. I've got lots of certificates for passing elocution exams. Yeah.
So what would you do for an exam on that? Would you be given a piece to read?
Yes, you have to read perfectly. You know,
pronunciation T's.
Yes, that's right. But I mean, it was just routine to me. I didn't think I was different to anyone else, so it was just routine. But now I try to bring up the children that I brought up. I try to bring them up. If they swore, they knew, you know, that they would really get told off.
There's more exciting words out there.
Yes. And in those days, you could give them a little tap if they were out of place, which you can't do now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you don't harm them, but a little tap.
Yeah.
They realise, oh, I'm going to get a smack from mum, and they don't do it.
But that was all government laws.
Oh yeah. I mean, it didn't hurt, and people can't do it now. Children get away with an awful lot. It's not going to hurt a child just to tap them, and that's all we ever did. You know.
Do you think discipline's changed quite a bit?
I think parents have given up and let the children do what they like.
Is that the impression you get?
I think so. By looking at the children around the street, I think it's disgusting the way they behave and talk. They don't think of people, older people, that you shouldn't behave like that, you shouldn't talk to people like that. They don't talk to you properly or anything. Hello, have you come to see Nan? Yes. Have you come to see Nan? Come on, Nana's spoke you. Come on. Yeah. You want to get in on all this too?
You'd be a wee therapy dog. She would sit on your knee the whole time if you would.
Yes. Listen here.
So tell me about these...
No, don't jump.
Down you get.
She's not jumping on me. No, it's just shame. She wants to see me.
What about these movies?
Oh yes, well, let's say I was in a couple of movies because I was at the Pinewood Studios, you see.
Right.
And
is that with your brother when your brother was an actor?
Yeah, he was an actor. And then my brother, after acting, he was into recording and records. He used to start collecting records, hundreds and hundreds, and he worked alongside the BBC, and for years and years and years until he died. And he must have had millions. He had his garage converted. When he died, the BBC bought all the records from the garage for their studios.
Oh wow! So it must have been some collection.
And when his funeral was, all the top people from the BBC were all at the funeral. Really.
So he was quite...
quite well known. Yeah. And
was that through his acting, or did he do other things after that?
No, that's all he did, was sort of acting and then into
collecting
records and working for the BBC. So that was his life. But we were no different. We weren't thinking, oh, we're better than anyone else. We were a family, and that was us, you know. So,
you wouldn't have known anything different.
No.
That would have been completely normal to you anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
So do you think other people had hardships? Or do you think that you had the same hardships regardless of...
I think whoever you are, it was really hard. Really hard. I mean, in the war there was no sweets. You couldn't go to a sweet shop, there was no sweets. And
that's with the sugar rations.
Yeah, you just got a ration of maybe 6 eggs for the family for a week. You got a book with tokens. You couldn't go to the shop and look at the shelf and say, I'll have this, that and the other. You had tokens. You could go and get what was on the token. You could use that token, and that was it. That was your food.
Was there any black market stuff going on at that
Never,
time?
never noticed it. Never noticed it at all. And there wasn't sweets, as I say. It was after the war, the sweets, and then if you wanted sweets from the sweet shop, I mean, parents didn't take you. They gave you a few pence, and you went and you stood in a queue, sometimes for an hour. They'd allowed so many children in the time, but the queue
As
was
Brit's
that long.
like a queue.
Yeah, and you were allowed 2 ounces of sweets after queuing, and that was your lot. So,
What was your favourite?
I think sort of jelly things, you know,
Oh, really?
soft jelly sweeties, you know.
So it wasn't just your hard boiled and things like that. There was jelly sweeties around.
Yes.
Would that have been round trees at the time? Do you think?
I don't know.
I think that
They were in
the
jars,
longest.
you see. You perhaps don't know about these sweet jars, these big sweet jars.
Well, the shop over the road used to have them.
Oh, he says that's
Mhm.
that's all they were, all in a sweet jar. And you say, I'll have 2 ounces of those, please, or half and half, and they put them in a little bag for you, little paper bag, and pay your pennies, and off you went.
How long would that last you?
Well, it had to last, didn't it? You know, you maybe eat 1 or 2 a day. If you were lucky, maybe not as much as that, because you knew there wouldn't be any more.
It's limited.
Yeah, but it did all right for your teeth, because as I was at the dentist only 3 weeks ago, and he said, do you know, you're remarkable. I said, why? He said, at your age, you haven't got a false tooth, and you've all got your real teeth. He said,
Really?
that's not normal.
Are they all yours?
Yeah.
Well done.
They're all mine. Yeah. And he said, that's remarkable at your age.
Do you think that's been a diet related thing throughout?
And also cleaning. My mother made me clean right from a young age, twice a day, morning and night. And yes, I've got all my own teeth. And that was only 2 weeks ago. He said I was remarkable. So
Well, I would.
yeah.
I would.
No, never mind. All right. Not bad.
Well, what would you think of the new trend that's going about then, when everyone's taking out all their teeth and they're getting veneers put in instead?
Oh, ridiculous idiots. If they looked after their teeth, they'd have them. I mean, look, my teeth don't look wrong.
No, not at all. You've got great teeth.
Well, that's it, and they're all mine. So,
And you've no fillings or anything like that,
I've
Cynthia?
got in the double ones a few fillings, maybe 4 fillings.
And that's it.
Oh yeah. So, but every 6 months, dentist.
You get your checkup.
Oh yes, and any treatment. Even now, I'd go. Yeah. So, that's stupid, but lots of people my age just sit in a chair and do nothing. Don't bother about themselves, you see, and that's the problem. But now I do everything. Doctors are on to me regularly as well. If I can't get down there, they phone me up and sometimes be on the phone half an hour talking to me, which only last week my doctor was talking to me for half an hour. And it's good.
Yeah.
That centre. Whether it's just me, I don't know, but I get the treatment, and the talkings helps. If there's any little nicks and things I'm not sure of, he'd get someone round or get me to the hospital to get checked.
So you feel like you get looked after?
Oh yeah. And I'm not special, but they've been very good to me down there at that centre.
What do you think of the NHS?
Well, to me, I think it's fine, because I've never had any problems with anything, health or teeth or eyes. I mean, I get the eye people coming into the house now and checking me.
See, I have mixed feelings with the NHS a little. I feel it's a fabulous service. It's something that we need and we should be proud of as Brits. But I feel almost we neglect ourselves because the NHS can fix us. Not everyone. I mean, you're testament to looking after your body, and you've not had to visit the NHS very often throughout the years because you've looked after your body. And like you're saying, even when it comes to the dentist and your eyes, I mean, you're sitting here without specs.
Oh yes,
You've got all your own teeth.
Without a hearing aid.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
But you've looked after yourself.
Oh yeah, and that's half the people don't. They just let themselves go, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think that could have a little bit of something to do with the fact that maybe some of us take advantage of the NHS system.
And there's not enough appointments and things for people that need it.
Mhm.
I agree with that. Yeah, but I've never been let down at all. And even now, every 3 months, I'm back at the hospital. Every 3 months they check me, X-ray me and check me every 3 months now.
Just like an MOT type thing. You
Yes.
just get everything.
And I go to Queen Margaret Hospital, which is the main hospital for this area, and because that's the best hospital, and I go there. And the service I get there is remarkable, because they look after me. And about 6 months ago I was there, and the nurses came along. There's a waiting room. There's a small waiting room, probably about 7 or 8 people in there. And she comes down the corridor. Here are Mrs. Maskell. Here's a biscuit and a cup of tea for you. And I felt a bit out of place, but I thought, well, how nice that was. I shouldn't have probably said my name, but yeah. But yeah, so.
No, that is nice.
They're really nice. So, she's taking a picture of the dog. So
Yeah.
we'll just see how I go. So at the moment I'm never not in. I'm always in pain the whole time, obviously from the fall, but I just accept it. I don't go, ooh, I just get on and I do what I can do.
You're not a moper.
No. And if I get up, Maria's always there, because I have to walk with a walker, because when I didn't have a walker I fell and broke my foot, as you know, because I went dizzy. But I don't let it bother me. I go in the kitchen at lunchtime. I get as much lunch as I can for Maria and myself. And I carry a tray. I have the walker, and I balance the tray with my hands on the walker and walk through to the lounge to put the tray down ready for Maria or I to eat. I don't say, well, Maria, carry it through. I do it.
But you're helping yourself so much by doing that.
Oh, have to. I don't want to be sitting. Well, I keep saying to
Hand to
Maria,
eye
I'm not an
coordination,
old granny.
balance.
I'm not an old granny.
No. I love that.
I've got 14 great-grandchildren and 12 grandchildren, and that's an awful lot.
That gives me goosebumps because it makes me think of like my end goal, my end achievement, what would make me happy. And that's me standing in my 80s, my 90s, with a whole team of people behind me that's came from me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's what you've got.
Oh yes. I mean, I don't think I'm probably, not that I want to die, but when I die I expect they'll all be there. But you know, it's I see them now and again, or get pictures of them, or they talk on the phone.
It's just that many of them,
Yeah, that's that many. Yeah. So,
and they're pretty much worldwide.
yeah, yes, as I say, my oldest son, he comes round, and then it's the great grandchildren he has with him, because he looks after them as well. I mean, he's 60, about 65, my son, and him and his partner, they look after their grandchildren, which are my great grandchildren. Take them to school, pick them up.
They'll keep them young as well.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
I mean, you're testament to that.
Oh well,
You're still looking after people today.
Yeah, my oldest son is 65. He's quite a clever person in the electronics. He goes down to London, to factories and offices, and gives them advice on what they're doing wrong, even at his age. And he runs a bowling club. He runs it. He's also a disc jockey. He's good on the microphone, and he does that for them as well. So he's carrying on my tradition of doing an awful lot of things that he shouldn't be doing at 65, but he doesn't stop. So,
Who says?
Yeah.
Who says that you've got to stop at 65?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the age of the president just now in America.
oh yeah, it just shows you.
It does.
Yeah.
And he seems fighting fit.
Yeah.
You know, he seems very strong.
Yeah, not that I like him, but yeah, I've never liked him.
But he's a strong man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Age doesn't really have...
Yeah. Well, it doesn't, because, I mean, my son sold my car. It's only about 3 years ago. I mean, I was driving, and he says, you're too old, and he sold my car to stop me driving.
How did you feel when you were driving?
Well, I used to have my right leg used to go a bit paralysed
Right, okay.
when I was driving.
So it was
And-
time.
Well, going down South Parks Road there, I would be driving and all of a sudden I had no feeling on the accelerator and I couldn't put it on the brake because I had no feeling in my right leg. I had to use my handbrake and pull into the side
Right,
of the road
okay.
and wait until it came back again, then carry on driving.
So you done the right thing,
So
encouraging
he
you
says,
not.
yeah, he said, that's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I miss my car.
Of course,
I
it's
would
the
love-
freedom that it brings.
Yeah, I can't do anything. But yes, but it was the right thing to do. But after all these years, I mean, I was youngish when I passed my test.
Mm-hmm.
And all those years I've been driving everywhere, way down south, everywhere.
Was it just, was there a taboo about women driving to begin with? Or
Well, there wasn't a lot of women, sort of a few, but there wasn't as many
Mhm.
women driving as there is now. Or when I was driving, we got a few,
Mhm.
but and the younger ones weren't taking their tests early, they weren't bothering. But now they do, of course.
Has it always been 17 here to pass your...
18, used to be
18.
18, used to be 18, yeah. So, but I think it's 17 now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's old enough. There's too many accidents, too many people getting injured.
There's a lot more cars on the road, though, isn't there?
Oh yes, it was nice. And I was telling Maria the other day, it was, I can't remember what, I don't know, about 1970 or something. Maybe 1965 anyway. I took my test, I had 6 driving lessons. Went to Kirkcaldy, took my test and passed.
And that was it.
6 driving lessons. Now, kids just don't seem to want to learn quickly.
Well, you're doing it for over a year now here.
I know. But say, I literally had 6 driving school lessons and he took me to the test and I passed first time.
Why do you think that is? Was there less mechanics in the car? Was there less things to consider, less roundabouts? Was there less to do with the test?
There was exactly the same tests.
Oh,
All
really?
3-point turns and reversing and keeping straight. Everything that I've got to do now.
So there was all that involved as well?
There was all that involved and I was only young.
So the only difference will be then would be the theory test?
Yeah, yes.
Hazard and perception as well?
Yes, it's maybe harder, the theory test now, maybe, than when I took it, but you still had to
was there a
answer
theory
questions.
test as well then?
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So, and I say I was not youngy, but I was sort of 20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but you're probably younger than that, but when I took my test, and it was in Kirkcaldy, it was sort of keeping straight and, how you have to reverse and 3-point turns, it's all on there. So, and I say 6 lessons in for your test, and not that I was any cleverer than anyone else, but I was probably lucky, but I passed. So
First time too?
First time, oh yes. So I've been lucky all my life with using my brain probably and such as it is.
And grasping opportunities.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, that would have been quite a big thing for you to move from down south.
Oh yeah.
Up north to Scotland.
Yeah, that's because my husband, he was head of an electronics company, GEC, down there, and they opened a factory in Glenmothes, and he came up here. There was no work, and he came up here and employed these poor people that had no jobs and got them on their feet, and it was a different town to what it is now.
Yeah.
But when I came up here, I couldn't walk out the street without you'd hear a Scottish person, "There's that English woman." It was terrible when I first moved up here. Yet my husband had come up to give hundreds and hundreds jobs, but it didn't go on for long when they realised. But no, that's what I got. I couldn't go down the street without when someone would point, "There's that English woman."
Was there not very many English here at the time?
No. it was mostly Scottish people you see, and it was the English people that came up to give these poor people who were walking the streets and had no jobs, gave them employment and money.
Was that in Glenrothes? Post-war, obviously, and...
Yeah, that was Glenrothes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's how we were treated. But it went on for maybe about 4 years, and then it changed because they realised that they've got husbands or boyfriends, have got a job, money, and that's
A
it.
better way of living.
Yeah.
So what was in Glenrothes for people at the time when you came up then?
There was nothing in the factories, shops, and these factories
Mm-hmm.
that were open, you know. There was no places like McDonald's or
No.
any of those sort of things.
What about cafes and stuff like that? Could you remember much?
Yes, there was a few cafes,
Yeah.
you know, nice, but I mean, it's opened over the top now, but you know, it was nice. And they say this, speaking and pointing fingers at you, which was not nice. After, you know, we came up and my husband, not just him, but all the other people came up and gave them employment. They began to realise that, you know,
We were better together.
Yeah, and it stopped. And I don't get it now.
No.
Oh,